Albert Einstein, a towering figure in the world of science, is celebrated for his revolutionary contributions that forever altered our understanding of the universe. Known primarily for his general theory of relativity and the iconic equation E=mc², Einstein's intellectual pursuits were not confined to the realm of physics alone. He harbored a deep curiosity about the nature of existence, the universe, and humanity's place within it. This curiosity led him to explore philosophical and spiritual dimensions, where he found a remarkable resonance with Buddhism. Einstein famously remarked, "I am a deeply religious non-believer, but if there were any religion that could cope with modern scientific needs, it would be Buddhism." This statement encapsulates his admiration for Buddhism's approach to understanding reality. Unlike many Western religions, which often hinge on the concept of a personal God and rigid dogmas, Buddhism offers a flexible framework that harmonizes well with scientific inquiry. It transcends the idea of a personal deity and avoids theological rigidity, instead fostering a holistic view that encompasses both the natural and spiritual worlds. Buddhism, as Einstein saw it, possessed the characteristics of a universal religion that could adapt to future developments in human knowledge and society. It is rooted in a profound sense of unity and interconnectedness, a view that everything in the natural and spiritual realms forms a meaningful whole. This perspective aligns closely with the scientific understanding of the universe, where all phenomena are interrelated and governed by universal laws. Einstein's respect for Buddhism stemmed from its empirical approach to understanding reality. The Buddha encouraged verification through personal experience and reasoning, an approach akin to the scientific method. This open-minded and experiential approach appealed to Einstein, who valued the importance of questioning and evidence-based understanding. In a world increasingly dominated by science and technology, Einstein believed Buddhism offered a valuable philosophical and ethical foundation. It provides a flexible mindset that opens doors to profound insights into the nature of the universe and our role within it. This alignment between science and spirituality was not only intellectually satisfying for Einstein, but also provided a path toward personal and societal harmony. Through Buddhism, he saw a way to integrate scientific knowledge with a compassionate and ethical way of living, addressing both the intellectual and moral needs of humanity. Albert Einstein stands as an immovable figure in the annals of scientific history, revered for his monumental contributions that reshaped our understanding of the universe. His general theory of relativity marked a significant turning point, fundamentally altering the way we perceive time and space. Instead of being static and separate entities, Einstein revealed that time and space are interwoven and mutable, changing according to the observer's position and velocity. This was a revolutionary insight that not only deepened our grasp of the cosmos, but also paved the way for numerous advancements in physics. The equation E=mc², encapsulating the profound unity of matter and energy, is not merely a formula, but a powerful testament to the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. However, Einstein's genius was not confined to the scientific domain alone. He was a great philosopher and thinker who transcended the boundaries of scientific theory in his quest for a harmonious synthesis of science, philosophy, and religion. His view of religion was not one of blind faith, but rather a profound appreciation for the order and wonder of the universe, reflecting a soul in constant search for beauty and truth. Einstein's approach to understanding the world was deeply holistic, integrating rigorous scientific inquiry with a philosophical and spiritual quest for meaning. Einstein's perspective on religion was unique and nuanced. He often described himself as a deeply religious non-believer, a term that encapsulates his complex relationship with spirituality. He rejected the notion of a personal God, a being who intervenes in human affairs, yet he held a deep sense of reverence for the universe and its intricate laws. This reverence was akin to a spiritual experience, one that filled him with awe and wonder at the beauty and complexity of the cosmos. He believed that true religiosity lies in this sense of wonder and the humility it inspires, rather than in adherence to dogma or ritual. In this context, Einstein saw a profound alignment between science and spirituality. Both domains, in his view, were driven by a deep sense of curiosity and a desire to understand the fundamental nature of reality. Science, with its rigorous methods and empirical focus, seeks to uncover the laws that govern the universe. Spirituality, on the other hand, addresses the deeper questions of meaning and existence, providing a framework for understanding our place in the cosmos. Einstein believed that these two pursuits were not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary, each enriching the other. Buddhism, in particular, resonated with Einstein because of its empirical and experiential approach to understanding reality. The Buddha's teachings encourage personal verification and reasoning, urging followers to test beliefs through their own experiences, rather than accepting them on blind faith. This approach is remarkably similar to the scientific method, which relies on observation, experimentation, and evidence to build knowledge. For Einstein, this alignment was a powerful testament to the compatibility of Buddhism with modern scientific thought. Furthermore, Einstein admired Buddhism's focus on compassion and ethical conduct. He believed that the true purpose of human life is to enhance the well-being of all beings, a view that aligns closely with Buddhist teachings on compassion and the interconnectedness of all life. In a world increasingly driven by technology and scientific advancement, Einstein saw in Buddhism a guiding light that could help humanity navigate the moral and ethical challenges that arise with progress. Einstein's own approach to science was deeply philosophical and spiritual. He often spoke of the sense of awe and mystery that the universe inspired in him. This sense of wonder, he believed, was the driving force behind all true scientific inquiry. He saw science as a way to explore the mysteries of the universe and uncover the underlying order and beauty of nature. This exploration, in turn, deepened his sense of connection to the cosmos and his appreciation for the unity of all things. In his reflections on the relationship between science and spirituality, Einstein emphasized the importance of maintaining a sense of humility and openness. He believed that the universe is far more complex and mysterious than our limited human minds can fully comprehend. This recognition of our intellectual limitations should inspire a sense of humility and a willingness to continually question and seek deeper understanding. It is this attitude of humility and openness that he admired in Buddhism, which encourages followers to remain open to new insights and experiences. Einstein's views on science and spirituality also underscore the importance of ethics and integrity. He believed that scientific inquiry should be guided by ethical principles and a commitment to the well-being of humanity. This ethical dimension is central to Buddhism as well, which emphasizes the importance of right action, right speech, and right livelihood as part of the Noble Eightfold Path. For Einstein, the pursuit of scientific knowledge was not an end in itself, but a means to contribute to the greater good, reflecting a deep moral and ethical commitment. Einstein's perspective on the relationship between science and spirituality was deeply integrative and holistic. He saw both domains as driven by a common quest for understanding and meaning, each enriching and complementing the other. His admiration for Buddhism stemmed from its empirical approach to knowledge, its focus on compassion and ethical conduct, and its emphasis on humility and openness. Through this lens, Einstein envisioned a future where science and spirituality could work together to address the deepest questions of existence and contribute to the well-being of all beings. Albert Einstein's reflections on ethics and integrity reveal a profound understanding of the moral dimensions of human existence. He was acutely aware that scientific advancements, while powerful and transformative, must be grounded in a strong ethical framework to ensure they contribute positively to society. For Einstein, the pursuit of knowledge was inherently tied to the responsibility of using that knowledge wisely and compassionately. Einstein emphasized that ethical behavior should not be based on the fear of punishment or the expectation of reward, but on a deep understanding of human interconnectedness and compassion. He argued that morality should stem from intrinsic values rather than extrinsic pressures. This perspective is remarkably aligned with Buddhist principles, which advocate for ethical conduct grounded in compassion, mindfulness, and the recognition of the interconnected nature of all life. Einstein believed that true morality arises from education, empathy, and the social bonds that unite humanity. He was critical of religious systems that relied on the fear of divine retribution or the hope of heavenly rewards to enforce ethical behavior. In his view, such systems were insufficient and even detrimental, as they could foster a superficial adherence to moral rules without cultivating a genuine understanding of ethical principles. Instead, Einstein championed a morality based on reason, empathy, and a profound respect for the dignity and well-being of all individuals. The Buddha's teachings resonate strongly with Einstein's views on ethics. The Buddha emphasized that ethical conduct should be rooted in wisdom and compassion, not blind obedience to rules or fear of punishment. He encouraged individuals to examine their actions and their consequences, to develop a deep understanding of the causes of suffering, and to act in ways that alleviate suffering for themselves and others. This approach to ethics is both practical and deeply humane, emphasizing personal responsibility and the importance of cultivating a compassionate and mindful way of life. Einstein's thoughts on integrity also extended to his view of human nature and the potential for moral growth. He believed that humans possess an inherent capacity for goodness, and that this capacity can be nurtured through education, self-reflection, and compassionate action. He often spoke about the importance of expanding our circle of compassion to include all living beings, recognizing that our well-being is intimately connected to the well-being of others. This view aligns with the Buddhist concept of interconnectedness and the idea that our actions have far-reaching effects on the broader web of life. In his writings and speeches, Einstein frequently highlighted the dangers of nationalism, racism, and other forms of divisiveness. He saw these as antithetical to the ethical principles of compassion and respect for human dignity. He believed that overcoming these divisions required a fundamental shift in consciousness, one that recognized the common humanity that binds us all. This perspective is mirrored in Buddhist teachings, which emphasize the importance of overcoming ignorance and delusion to see the true nature of reality, including the interconnectedness of all beings. Einstein also stressed the importance of integrity in scientific practice. He believed that scientists have a moral duty to ensure that their work is conducted honestly and transparently, and that the benefits of scientific discoveries are shared equitably. He was deeply concerned about the potential misuse of scientific knowledge, particularly in the context of war and weapons of mass destruction. His involvement in the development of the atomic bomb, although driven by the urgent need to counteract the Nazi threat, left him with a lasting sense of moral responsibility and a commitment to advocating for peace and disarmament. The Buddha's approach to ethical living, as outlined in the Noble Eightfold Path, provides a comprehensive framework that echoes Einstein's emphasis on integrity. The Noble Eightfold Path includes principles such as right speech, right action, and right livelihood, which guide individuals in conducting their lives in ways that are ethical, compassionate, and conducive to the well-being of all. This path encourages mindfulness and self-awareness, helping individuals to act with integrity and align their actions with their ethical values. Einstein's reflections on ethics and integrity also included a critique of materialism and the pursuit of personal gain at the expense of the common good. He believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from living a life of purpose and contributing to the well-being of others. This view is consistent with Buddhist teachings, which emphasize the impermanence of material possessions and the importance of cultivating inner peace and contentment through ethical living and spiritual practice. In his personal life, Einstein exemplified many of the ethical principles he advocated. He was known for his humility, kindness, and generosity, often using his fame and influence to support humanitarian causes and advocate for social justice. His commitment to ethical principles was evident in his stance on various social and political issues, including his support for civil rights, his opposition to militarism, and his advocacy for a more just and equitable world. The convergence of Einstein's ethical views with Buddhist principles underscores the universal nature of these values. Both perspectives emphasize the importance of compassion, integrity, and the recognition of our interconnectedness. They call for a deep commitment to ethical living, not as a means to an end, but as an expression of our shared humanity and our responsibility to contribute to the greater good. Einstein's view of God, often misunderstood and subject to misinterpretation, was deeply influenced by the philosophical ideas of Baruch Spinoza. Spinoza, a Dutch philosopher, proposed a pantheistic view of God, equating God with nature itself. According to Spinoza, God is not a separate, anthropomorphic entity that intervenes in human affairs, but rather the sum total of all natural laws and phenomena. Einstein found this conception profoundly appealing and aligned it with his own scientific and philosophical beliefs. For Einstein, the idea of a personal God who concerns himself with human affairs was not only implausible but also unnecessary for explaining the workings of the universe. He saw the natural world as a beautifully ordered system governed by immutable laws, and he felt that attributing this order to a personal deity detracted from its inherent majesty. Einstein's famous statement, "I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists," encapsulates his view that the divine is manifest in the rational structure and elegance of the cosmos. This perspective on God aligns closely with Buddhist thought, which eschews the concept of a personal creator deity. Buddhism posits that the universe operates according to natural laws, without the need for a divine architect. The 5 niyamas, or natural laws in Buddhism, govern everything from physical phenomena to moral actions. Among these, karma is just one element, indicating that everything arises from a web of interdependent conditions rather than from the will of a supernatural being. Einstein's rejection of a personal God did not make him an atheist in the conventional sense. He often described himself as agnostic, expressing a sense of humility regarding humanity's ability to fully comprehend the ultimate nature of reality. He acknowledged the limits of human knowledge and the mystery that surrounds the universe, which he approached with a sense of awe and wonder. This attitude of humility and reverence for the unknown is a hallmark of both his scientific and philosophical outlook. The Buddha's middle way offers a path that avoids the extremes of eternalism, the belief in an eternal soul or deity, and nihilism, the belief in nothingness or the denial of any spiritual reality. This balanced approach resonates with Einstein's views on the limitations of human understanding and the importance of maintaining an open mind. The middle way emphasizes the interdependence of all things and the importance of compassion and wisdom in navigating life's challenges. It calls for a balanced perspective that recognizes the relative truth of phenomena without becoming attached to rigid dogmas. Einstein's acknowledgement of the limits of human knowledge is reflected in his approach to scientific inquiry. He understood that our theories and models are human constructs, shaped by our observations and cognitive frameworks. This understanding aligns with the Buddhist concept of dependent origination, which teaches that all phenomena arise in dependence on various conditions and are devoid of inherent, independent existence. In both Einstein's scientific perspective and the Buddha's teachings, there is an emphasis on the fluid and interconnected nature of reality. The middle way's avoidance of extremes is also evident in Einstein's philosophical stance. He avoided the dogmatic certainty of both religious fundamentalism and strict atheism. Instead, he adopted a position of thoughtful inquiry and open-mindedness, recognizing that our understanding of the universe is always evolving. This stance is mirrored in the Buddhist practice of cultivating mindfulness and wisdom, which encourages practitioners to remain open to new insights and to question their assumptions. Understanding the universe, for Einstein, was not just about unraveling the mysteries of physical phenomena, but also about grasping the deeper order and beauty of nature. He believed that the pursuit of scientific knowledge was a way to connect with the profound harmony of the cosmos. This pursuit was, in his view, a deeply spiritual endeavor, driven by a sense of wonder and a desire to uncover the underlying principles that govern the natural world. The Buddha's teachings similarly emphasize the importance of understanding the nature of reality. However, the Buddha focused on understanding the causes of suffering and the path to its cessation. He taught that by gaining insight into the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self, individuals can achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth and attain enlightenment. This understanding is not merely intellectual, but experiential, cultivated through meditation and ethical living. Einstein's scientific explorations and the Buddha's spiritual teachings both point to a deeper truth about the nature of existence. They suggest that true understanding comes not from rigid adherence to dogma, but from a willingness to explore, question, and engage with the mysteries of life. For Einstein, this engagement took the form of scientific inquiry, while for the Buddha, it involved meditation and ethical practice. Both approaches, however, emphasize the importance of compassion, wisdom, and an open mind. Einstein's reflections on the nature of reality also reveal his belief in the unity of all things. He often spoke about the interconnectedness of the universe and the illusion of separateness that pervades human consciousness. This view is echoed in Buddhist teachings, which assert that the perception of a distinct, independent self is a delusion that leads to suffering. The Buddha taught that by understanding the interdependent nature of all phenomena, individuals can overcome this delusion and attain a state of peace and liberation. In his writings, Einstein expressed a deep sense of wonder at the order and beauty of the cosmos. He saw the pursuit of scientific knowledge as a way to connect with this order and to experience a sense of unity with the natural world. This sense of wonder is also central to Buddhist practice, which encourages practitioners to cultivate an appreciation for the beauty and interconnectedness of all life. Through mindfulness and meditation, Buddhists seek to develop a deeper awareness of the present moment and the intricate web of conditions that give rise to each experience. Einstein's emphasis on the unity of matter and energy, encapsulated in his famous equation E=mc2, reflects his belief in the fundamental interconnectedness of all things. This view is consistent with the Buddhist concept of emptiness, which teaches that all phenomena lack inherent existence and are instead interdependent and interrelated. By understanding this interdependence, individuals can transcend the illusion of separateness and cultivate a sense of compassion and connection with all beings. Both Einstein and the Buddha recognized the importance of addressing the practical challenges of human existence. While Einstein's work focused on advancing scientific knowledge and understanding the physical universe, he also emphasized the need for ethical behavior and social responsibility. The Buddha, similarly, taught that the ultimate goal of understanding reality is to alleviate suffering and achieve liberation. He emphasized the importance of ethical conduct, meditation, and wisdom as the means to this end. Einstein's reflections on the limitations of human knowledge and the mystery of the universe underscore the importance of humility and openness in our pursuit of understanding. He believed that the more we learn about the cosmos, the more we realize how much remains unknown. This sense of humility is also central to Buddhist practice, which encourages practitioners to approach their spiritual journey with a beginner's mind, open to new insights and experiences. Albert Einstein's insights into human suffering and the quest to understand its causes reveal his profound empathy and ethical concerns. While Einstein is best known for his scientific achievements, his reflections on human existence and suffering highlight his deep engagement with the fundamental issues of life. He recognized that science, while immensely powerful, could not by itself address the existential and emotional dimensions of human experience. Einstein understood that suffering is an inherent part of the human condition. He saw that despite technological and scientific advancements, humanity continued to grapple with issues of pain, loss, and existential angst. This recognition aligns with the core teachings of Buddhism, which identifies suffering, dukkha, as a fundamental aspect of life. The Buddha taught that life is pervaded by suffering, which arises from various sources, including birth, aging, illness, death, and the myriad forms of dissatisfaction and discontent that people experience. One of the Buddha's key teachings is the Four Noble Truths, which provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the nature of suffering and the path to its cessation. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering, asserts that suffering is an intrinsic part of existence. The second noble truth, the truth of the cause of suffering, identifies desire, tanha, and attachment, upadana, as the primary sources of suffering. According to the Buddha, it is our craving for pleasure, material possessions, and continued existence, as well as our aversion to pain and non-existence, that bind us to the cycle of suffering. Einstein's reflections on the human condition resonate with this Buddhist analysis. He recognized that much of human suffering arises from our desires and attachments, which often lead to conflict, dissatisfaction, and a sense of alienation. He saw that individuals often become trapped in a cycle of seeking external validation and material success, only to find that these pursuits do not bring lasting fulfillment. This insight echoes the Buddha's teaching that true happiness and liberation come not from external achievements, but from inner transformation and the relinquishment of attachment. The Buddha's teachings offer a path to overcome suffering through the cultivation of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The third noble truth, the truth of the cessation of suffering, holds that it is possible to end suffering by extinguishing desire and attachment. The fourth noble truth, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, outlines the Noble Eightfold Path, a practical guide for ethical and mental development that leads to liberation. This path includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Einstein's ethical views are consistent with the principles of the Noble Eightfold Path. He emphasized the importance of compassion, education, and social ties in fostering ethical behavior and reducing suffering. He believed that ethical conduct should be based on empathy and a genuine concern for the well-being of others, rather than on fear of punishment or hope for reward. This perspective is closely aligned with the Buddhist emphasis on right intention and right action, which advocate acting with kindness, honesty, and integrity. Einstein also shared the Buddhist view that ignorance, avidya, is a root cause of suffering. The Buddha taught that ignorance about the true nature of reality leads to misunderstanding and misperception, which in turn give rise to desire and attachment. This ignorance encompasses not only a lack of intellectual knowledge, but also a deeper, existential unawareness of the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. Einstein recognized that many of humanity's problems stem from a lack of understanding and awareness, both of the external world and of our own inner nature. In his writings, Einstein often spoke about the optical delusion of consciousness, which leads people to perceive themselves as separate and isolated entities, disconnected from the rest of the universe. This illusion of separateness, he argued, is a source of much of our suffering, as it fosters selfishness, fear, and conflict. The Buddha's teachings similarly emphasize that the sense of an independent, permanent self is an illusion, anatta, and that clinging to this false notion perpetuates suffering. By recognizing the interdependent and transient nature of all phenomena, individuals can overcome this delusion and develop a more compassionate and expansive view of life. The Buddhist practice of meditation is a key tool for overcoming ignorance and cultivating insight into the nature of suffering. Through mindfulness and concentration, practitioners learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without attachment or aversion, gaining a deeper understanding of the causes and conditions that give rise to suffering. This practice helps to develop mental clarity and equanimity, allowing individuals to respond to life's challenges with greater wisdom and compassion. Einstein, though not a practitioner of meditation in the traditional sense, valued the importance of contemplation and reflection in developing a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. The Buddha's teachings on suffering also include the concept of the middle way, which advocates for a balanced and moderate approach to life, avoiding the extremes of indulgence and asceticism. This principle is relevant to Einstein's views on ethical living and the pursuit of knowledge. He believed that a balanced approach, guided by reason and compassion, is essential for addressing the complex challenges of human existence. This middle way perspective encourages individuals to cultivate a harmonious relationship with themselves, others, and the natural world. Einstein's engagement with the problem of suffering extended beyond personal reflection to his active involvement in social and political issues. He was a vocal advocate for peace, social justice, and human rights, recognizing that systemic and structural factors contribute significantly to human suffering. He believed that addressing these broader issues was crucial for creating a more just and compassionate world. This commitment to social and ethical responsibility is in line with the Buddhist principle of right action, which calls for conduct that promotes harmony and reduces harm. The Buddha's parable of the poisoned arrow is often cited to illustrate the importance of focusing on practical solutions to suffering rather than becoming entangled in metaphysical speculations. In the parable, a man struck by a poisoned arrow insists on knowing all the details about the arrow and its shooter before allowing the doctor to remove it. The Buddha used this story to teach that addressing immediate suffering is more important than resolving abstract philosophical questions. This pragmatic approach is reflected in Einstein's emphasis on addressing real-world problems through compassionate action and ethical conduct. Einstein's recognition of the interconnectedness of all life also led him to advocate for a broader sense of compassion that extends beyond immediate social circles to encompass all living beings. He believed that expanding our circle of empathy and concern is essential for overcoming the self-centeredness that contributes to suffering. This view aligns with the Buddhist practice of developing loving kindness, metta, and compassion, karuna, for all beings, recognizing that true happiness and peace arise from a sense of solidarity and interconnectedness. In conclusion, Einstein's reflections on suffering and its causes reveal a deep understanding of the human condition and a commitment to ethical and compassionate living. His views resonate strongly with Buddhist teachings, which offer a comprehensive framework for understanding and alleviating suffering through wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Both perspectives emphasize the importance of overcoming ignorance, developing compassion, and recognizing the interconnected nature of all life. Through their insights, Einstein and the Buddha provide valuable guidance for addressing the fundamental challenges of human existence and cultivating a more just and compassionate world.